Alrighty, so this install in my car has been in for quite some time now. And to be honest, the main reason I've been neglecting actually making the video is because the amplifier I purchased, as many people commented in the video that it will definitely not do rated power because it's only got 90 amps worth of fusing. Well, everyone was 100% correct. The comments are always correct, we all know that. So in this package right here, Parts Express, you know, the one and all company for speaker building components, have sent out an amplifier for me to replace the one that I've got in there currently. So this is going to be the US Acoustics mic 1500 watt amp. It has 440 amp fuses, which means it's got 160 amps of fusing. And man, this thing from the Big D Wiz's tests that he's done has proven that it will do rated power, which should provide these subs with the most amount of power possible. And I've also got two precision ports here to port the side of this box, and we're gonna be doing all of that in today's video. So let's quickly go over today's video. I ignore my dirty car at the moment. It's been a little while since I've washed it, and I know we're in it for a week of rain next week. This video is gonna be excessively long. First of all, I'm just gonna quickly, I've now explained what I'm gonna be doing in today's video. I'm gonna go over the install currently, show you how it's all done, how everything's all routed, how everything's all wired up, so you know if you're interested in doing an R36 Passat like this, or you just wanna see how I've done it all, because to be honest, I'm not gonna toot my own horn here, but I'm rather happy with the job I've done in this car. So what we'll do right now, this video is going to be basically unedited, so it's going to be very long, very lengthy, and it's going to be showing you just about everything. So obviously we have the two Dayton Audio HO 12-inch dual voice coil subs. These are rated at 700 RMS each, and they're a dual 4 ohm coil. So I have them wired in parallel, which means they're on a 1 ohm load. This little DS18 amplifier down here, rated at 1565 watts, can only push them to about maybe a centimeter of excursion. If we watch this, if we watch this Snapchat clip right here, you can see that I'm pushing these subs to about an inch of excursion each, and that's on the CV2800 with clean power, and after that for about 5 minutes, weren't even remotely warm, whereas I can get these moving about a centimeter in the car and they're hot, which means one thing and one thing only, is that this little amplifier up here is clipping. Now I know the electrical supply for this car is rather good, the battery is huge, the voltage drop when the subs are going isn't crazy. If the car is running, the lights don't even dim. That may be partly due to the fact that the box is not, that amp is not very powerful, but I'm pretty sure the electrical system in this car is pretty powerful. So let's quickly talk signal. Obviously you need three main things to power a subwoofer box in a car. We need signal from the head unit. So for the R36 here, on the B pillars in the doors, I was able to splice into the factory wiring harness there and tap off that for high level outputs, because this car doesn't have RCA outputs on the stock head unit. So what I've done is I've tapped into those, run the wires up through the roof, and they come down here. So let me remove this cover here, which is where the battery is located in the R36, and I'll just move this cover out of the way. You can't quite see it probably on camera here, but both of those wires come out of the B pillars, go up through the roof and come down here. And down here is a Rockford Fosgate high to low level converter. It's non-adjustable. However, I think the gain where it's set is basically perfect anyway, and that's tucked down there. I've also wired in the ground for that. It doesn't say it's necessary, but I decided to take any step and precaution I possibly could to reduce the likelihood of having any humming or anything like that coming through. As well as that, I've hardwired the ground and the positive, well, I shouldn't say and the positive. I've hardwired obviously the positive to the battery as per 99% of cars out there, because usually the chassis of the car is wired to the ground. However, because the amp's just here and the battery's just here, I've also hardwired directly to the negative instead of finding a grounding point in the car. So that explains that. We're hardwired negative and positive with 4-gauge wire that runs up through the paneling down here and then pops out up behind the amplifier. It's super clean. As well as that, we also have an external fuse just here. Even though the amps are fused, I decided to run my own external fuse there, which is also cable tied in very securely, which means for whatever reason, if the amplifier mounts were to fail and the positive and the negative that are up there that are constantly got 12 volt source going to them, if they were to short, it would just pop that fuse and the car wouldn't go down in flames. One thing I was very, very specific with this build is that everything had to be done correctly, everything had to be done safely, and if something were to go wrong, it would just trip a fuse. So even my remote wire, which I obtained from the rear cigarette lighter over there, so only when accessories are on will the sub box come on, or sorry, not accessories, when the car is in the run position is when the box will come on. not when it's in accessories, because I often sit in the car with accessories on and listen to music. I don't want that amp draining the battery because I have a dash cam that runs constantly when the car is in park, so I need all of that battery possible. So remote come from the cigarette lighter over there. The battery's hardwired in over there. The high level inputs come from the rear speakers in the B pillar, come up into a high-low level converter, RCAs into the amp. So that's how the actual install in the R36 is done. I also have two L brackets at the back which mount into the frame of the car, and I also have a ratcheting strap here holding the box down like that. There is absolutely no play in this box whatsoever. It cannot go anywhere. However, I wanted that ratcheting strap there just for some added security. So what I'm going to do now is I've explained the process, I've explained how it's in, I've explained how I've done it. The amp that's up there is about to get retired after its solid 3 weeks of use, because Parts Express has been lovely enough to send out a box with a new amp in it. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to do first. I think the first step in today's video is going to be removing the box. So I'm going to have to move the driver's seat of the car forward. I don't know if you can see, but I'm probably not going to edit as much of this video as I possibly can. That's why I've stuck something over the number plate so I don't have to worry about blurring it. Plus that cuts down on render times a significant amount. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how much longer videos take to render when the number plate is blurred. There's just so much more work for the computer to do. So what I could actually show you right now is if I grab my phone, we'll just quickly switch her over here. Hopefully I don't forget to do this. If I do, everyone will laugh at me in the comments. We're 7 minutes deep into the video, so we're switching over to the phone's camera right now. And here we can see two L brackets down here. You can see that's the bolt there on both sides that goes into the actual frame of the car. And then we have these two mounts here that go into the box. We've got our hot positive and negative coming up, as well as our remote here. The wires aren't particularly that great back behind here. They could be further improved, and I might do that in today's video. There's our RCA, so there's our 12 volts, there's the subwoofer wire, and here is our remote cable. It's pretty neat. Like, it's not perfect by any means, but hidden behind there, it's exactly everything I need to see. So there you go. That's it from the inside. So we're gonna remove these screws here now. I'm gonna go and grab a drill with a Phillips head bit on it. Probably just my DeWalt impact driver. We'll see. Bang that, we'll grab him. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera. We'll grab our Phillips head bit and we'll jump inside of the car. As well as that, I guess while we're in here, we need to remove this ratcheting strap, which shouldn't be too hard to do. I can't actually remember how you do it. I think you just simply push like that, bang, look at that, too easy. So I've also, you can probably tell, there are two screws up the top of the box in the corners, which is what holds the ratcheting strap on. It was unideal to screw into the box, but I figured, to be honest, we all know what I'm like. I'll probably make another box in like a couple of weeks anyway, so who really cares? And I really need to get some better wood screws for this, because I believe these are actually metal screws that are holding the box in. The threads are really, really small for wood, so at the end of the day though, it doesn't really matter. That one did not want to come out. And I believe the other thing which is going to be a bit of a pain is I believe, oh, what a horrible noise. Come on. I know this screw wants to come out. Come on. You know when just, you got plans for it to go right, but it just doesn't want to. I just can't get it. Just need to get like enough bite behind it to pull it. This will sound really weird probably. Oh, for God's sake, come out. There we go. Okay, so all 4 bolts are now removed. So what we can do is, now that we've done that, is grab a stubby little Phillips head screwdriver, just like this green one I've got right here. Bang, we look at that, little stubby screwdriver. Put my phone back down, I'll forget it's there and I'll be looking for it in 2 hours time. What we can do is move the box forward now that it is no longer mounted in place, and we'll be able to reach up and remove our main power cable from the box. Of course, these 12 volt sources, I know I should be unplugging them from the battery, but I really don't want to have to unplug the battery. So ideally here, we're not going to short circuit anything. We're not going to trip the fuse. And if we do, it's going to suck, because I'm going to have to go and buy a new fuse, which I don't know how expensive 160 amp fuse is going to be. But if we remove that, that's the ground. I mean, that's the remote. I just needed one set of pliers because I have cable tied them to the speaker outputs, which is probably a bit of a silly thing to do now looking back at it. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Unclip that. And what I might actually do is what I should have done to begin with, and just grab some tape again. So the frame of this car will be grounded with negatives. So what we're going to do is grab a bit of masking tape or duct tape, or this is actually gaffer tape, and cover the main power lead. That way, there's no way it's going to short circuit on anything. Now we're all perfectly safe. Our remote wire is not on because the car is not in accessory mode or in the run position, because that's how I've wired it, of course. So just a reminder, this video is going to be practically entirely unedited. It's going to be raw footage. I know the ADD likes to stop recording after 30 minutes, but we're only 11 minutes deep. I'll probably stop as well when I do the routing. It's going to be a little bit hard to get over that ratcheting strap. And the worst part, I think, of doing everything I'm doing in today's video, wow, that amp is nice and toasty. Yes. So the worst part, I think, is going to be doing that, which is really hard to do without lifting from your back and putting it down with your back, but I've been successful. So I'll move the camera, we'll look down. Okay, let's see, what's my framing like? That is pretty damn good. Alrighty, sub box is out of the car. The car is now starting to become a track car, losing weight. There's a lot of copper there. That's probably not a good thing. We have a square bit holding that amp on. Don't know why I chose to use screws with square ends, but I do have the drill bit. So it's not the end of the world. Pop that out of that, bang, in reverse. And providing all goes well, we need some sort of extension because it doesn't reach. Conveniently enough though, this is all stuff which I have easily at hand. So now what we can do, that's a Phillips head, pop that out, bang in the extender, bang that in. And now, look at that. Ignoring the plane in the background, there's obviously a plane just flying over the house. But undo these, and to be honest, the amplifier that I'm replacing it with obviously isn't going to be of the same size. So what I'll do with these, there goes the amp which I was using with my isolating feet, which I'll take off, just pop those there for now. Those 3 holes there aren't very big at all, so what I might just do is once I swap this back to a Phillips head and unplug or undo the subwoofer mounts like so. Man, I did those up tight. This is CCA 12 gauge wire here because the distance wasn't long enough for me to justify buying OFC. I know OFC is a lot better, but I'm using CCA. There's the little amp. So this is the DS18 Pro KA2500D. So this is actually rated at a whopping 2500 watts max. It feels really solid, I'll be honest. But with 90 amps of fusing on it, it's definitely not going to deliver the rated power of 2500 peak or 1565 watt RMS. So what we should have now, pop that back in the car, is in this box right here. Actually, let me plug those holes really quick. I get very easily distracted, and you'll be able to see that through today's video if I'm obviously going unedited. I'm also trying to be relatively quick here because I don't want this video to be like 4 hours long, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a 20-minute video. So some black 3/4 inch screws. We've got 4 of them there. And what we'll do, because this will be hidden under the box, it won't matter. We'll just simply screw these into the holes, and those will be hidden underneath the amplifier. So we'll just go with one click on the Once it does that, pop that back over there. So this will completely seal the holes. That way we don't get any air leaking. However, of course, it will be hidden because the amplifier I'm replacing it with, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't as deep, but it's a lot longer. So these will just be completely gone. You won't see them. So this box right here, let's just quickly ditch this stuff. We'll put it on the floor down here. This box here should be two 3-inch precision ports. I decided to go with the 3-inch because the box physically is not big enough to fit two of the 4-inch without sticking them at different sides, which if you ask me, would probably look pretty shit. I'll be honest. So we have packaging, precision port, another precision port. Absolutely laughing. These are two 3-inch flared port kits. I have got that out of the frame. There you go, two 3-inch precision port kits. Now I'm just gonna run these with the router. I'm definitely not going to be recessing the ports. It's a lot of effort for a box like this that's in the car, purely because, as I said in the past, I can see me building another box to replace this one in the car in the very near future with different subwoofers, etc., etc. Of course, and then here is my receipt from Parts Express, which I have indeed cut in half by accident. Again, more packaging. There's actually more precision ports. One more precision port. Okay, we've got 3. I definitely asked for 2, but that is not at all a bad thing. I'm sure I'll use that somewhere else. And here we have the US Acoustics mic. So this is a 1500 watt amplifier, which is already feeling incredibly heavy. So how do we open this? We pull that flap, we unleash this flap. There's our new amplifier for the car. We'll lift it out of the box. We also have rubber feet here, which I don't think I'll be using. We've also got another additional box here, so I'm curious what's in that because the other amp definitely didn't come with it. I'm making a huge mess out here in the garage. Let's just see what's in this little box here. We have mounting hardware, fuses, so additional fuses. I assume the fuses are already in it, so it's got spare fuses, more mounting hardware and spare fuses. Remote wire, that makes perfect sense. And our remote switch, which actually, to be honest, looks identical to the one that come with the DS18, just with a green LED instead. So spare fuses and the remote wiring kit. Not going to complain at all. Spare fuses are definitely a good thing. I will probably have to replace the fuse that is on the power lead in the car, because if I am correct in saying it, these are 40 amp fuses, which 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40 is 160. And I believe if I check, the one in the car is 150 amps. So if this amplifier draws anywhere near its 160, which it shouldn't, I don't think, unless something's wrong, it should technically pop my fuse in the car prior to popping its own fuses, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but if I'll just leave it. I'll let the comments tell me if I should change that. Very easy access. Wow. This is very nice. I'll let the comments tell me if I should change that or not. This will be going that way. No, it'll be going, which way is the front of the box? It'll be going backwards, like that. Wow, this is a very nice amp. So we have the US Acoustics mic, 1500 watt amplifier here. This has power LED, protect LED, remote control, bass boost, subsonic filter. So the bass boost, I'll turn that off. Subsonic, I'll set that to 15 Hertz. The low pass, I'll set to about 100 Hertz. The input level, I will adjust once it's in the car. Over here, we have two 4-gauge inputs here for wires, 160 amps of fusing, and two sets of speaker terminal mounts. So I don't actually know, I might actually have to extend these wires. It's perfectly fine with me. So the fact that this actually isn't as deep as well, let me grab my old amp here, which is over on the bench. The fact that it's actually not as deep actually suits the space in the car. So if I just rotate that a little bit, you can see how it's not as deep, that depth way, which actually will work better in the car because it was, the original amp was touching the back seats. So again, this is going to have to go in backwards because I don't have enough slack in the power cables, which is perfectly fine. This amp is much, much bigger, much, much more solid. Very, very happy with that. Man, so we will line this up roughly about there. I'll work on these back screws over here, somewhere about there. And And what we'll do is we'll just measure to make sure those screws are centered, because if we line them up like that, and I grab a ruler, you'll see what I mean here in 2 seconds. Grab our ruler, trusty big 600mm ruler or 2 foot, and we measure from these screws. We can see that we have 50mm to there and 50mm to there. So that is actually exactly where it's going to be mounted. What I might even do right now, I know this is just a Phillips head bit. Actually, that's not going to work. What I'll do is I'll pop that, grab that, put the screw on it, clip him into the drill, and what we'll do is we'll just bang a little hole. Again, we will pre-drill this, but this is marking out the hole for where the amp is going. So let me just double check. Right there, take that out, pop that in, right there, take that out, pop that in, right there, take that out. So we now have our holes pre-drilled for our amplifier. Again, so it's 50mm from either screws, so it's 100mm longer than the other amp, but it's about 20 or 30mm less as far as depth. So actually a much better suited amplifier for my car, and how my car is shaped in the boot really. It's just gonna work a lot better, and I'm really keen to get some real power. I've also got Allen keys here instead of Phillips head screws, which is perfectly fine, because over here I have a drawer of Allen keys, which I will deafen you by opening. Apologies for that. Come over here. Let me just quickly check where my camera is at. We're at 22 minutes. So this video is going to become quite the length. So that Allen key there will do the power perfectly fine. So we'll do that. We'll back these off. And then I need to figure out what size Allen key. It's going to be a rather small one. What size Allen key do we need? I'm gonna assume it's this one. Not quite, that's too big, wow. That's smaller, that looks identical. Yep, that's identical. That one looks smaller. Is that too small? Yeah, it's too small. Yep, okay, so we need one in between. That looks the same. I'm sure this doesn't fit. Okay, that definitely doesn't fit. Okay, so actually noticing now, the speaker outputs here, 2 of these are positive and 2 of these are negative, which is definitely a different way of wiring it. But I still don't know which one of these Allen keys will work until I find the right one. That's it. All right, that's it. So this Allen key here, I'm just gonna back all of these off. They look like 12 volt terminals. So, sorry, not 12 volt. They look like 12 gauge terminals. So the existing speaker wire I have should be fine. I just doubt it's going to reach where these plugs are, because they were further across on the old amp and I had not enough slack on them to begin with. They were actually rather tight. So I might actually have to cut the video in a minute. I plan on cutting it when I'm doing the routing too, so that should be fine. So that's all backed out. We're looking good. So making progress. Here's our amp. Here's our 160 amps of fusing, US acoustics mic. There will be a dedicated video on this. My knuckles just cracked like crazy. This amp looks incredible compared to what was there, as far as the color of it, as far as the build of it, as far as, I don't know. It just looks better. Surely we can agree on that. It's definitely much nicer. I'm gonna leave the caps on this side on the outputs, but I'm gonna take the caps off the inputs, because of course we're going to be inputting. I'm not gonna be daisy chaining that old amplifier onto anything, because to be quite honest, it ain't that good. But I might put these caps on this amp. We're nice and protected. That amp is good. I might sell that off to a mate of mine or something. I'm sure someone will have a use for that. They just won't be driving 1500 watts. Subs are here actually. They won't be driving 1500 watts RMS worth of subwoofer. I reckon that amp is probably 800 watts on a good day. Take into account some inefficiencies and all those sorts of things. It's probably not all that powerful, but there we go. That amp's all good. So what do we need to do? The remote's good, the power's good. We need to make sure these speaker wires can reach over here, which they can't. So I need to extend these wires. Now, I actually believe I have 12 gauge OFC out here. Don't quote me on it though, but I believe I have some under here. Pull this box out. A few spiders in the box. Of course, sorry you can't see me right now, but just promising you I am looking for speaker wire of the 12 gauge thickness, except I don't know where I've put it. Let me think. Could possibly be in my bedroom. It's most definitely in my bedroom. I'm going to cut the video here, resume once I've done that, because cutting and stripping wires is very boring and a very lengthy process. So I'm gonna redo these wires, space the amp out, mount the amp down, and then, well actually, before I do any of that, I'll probably route the holes out. So actually, that's what I'll be doing now. I'll just quickly cut back in when I'm doing stuff that's mildly important. Okay, so I've now routed out the holes in the top of the box. You can see I've removed the driver. We're getting very, very close to this being ready to go back in the car. I've shortened down the lengths of the ports to where they need to be. I've applied some glue. What I'm gonna do is add some tape. This is just that gaffer tape I was using earlier. And I'm gonna add this around the port here. This way I can just install it in the box. The tape will hold it there temporarily whilst that glue is still drying. So once I apply this all the way around, I'm gonna do this for all of the joins, just like so. And we'll stick that nice and tight down. That way it's airtight, make all of the joins airtight here, as you can see. And we still have a significant amount of super glue on the inside there, which will make these ports cure and be extremely strong. So very, very happy with that. The ports are good. The holes that I've drilled in here are perfect. Well, I haven't drilled them. The holes that I routed have come out absolutely perfect. Very, very happy with the results. And man, this box is getting close. It's now 5:05. I've been going at this for probably an hour 20. So far, I'm actually ahead of where I thought I'd be up to be honest, because normally when I get done doing stuff like this, I get super distracted super quickly. I can't even tell if you can see my head or not. But there is the bottom of the port. So these go inside the box. They come down to about there. So about an inch or two before that center brace, which doesn't really cover the majority of the hole anyway. And then of course, we have these rings here, which are for the top. So I think it's about that time now where the ports go in the box. So what I'll do is I'll grab these port bits here. These are super glued on already, but they do not have the tape. And we'll line these bad boys up. We're gonna try and go for like an angle like that. We're also going to grab the black screws that I normally use for this thing. I would typically silicone these in, but again, as I've said several times, I can see myself shortly retiring this box. I forgot where the black screws go. Where are they? Did I not put them away? Okay, never mind. I opened the drawer with the black screws in it several times. So, here are the black screws. Do we have a square over here? We do not, but I could quickly get one. There's 4 black screws. Just need a square I was using earlier. And once we grab our square, what we will be able to do is come along to the edge of the box here, spin the port around until the port sits square, and then we'll be able to make sure that the screw holes will sit square, which it does right about there. So that is looking good. And what I can just do is stick a screw straight in. So you'll see that the port lifted up, but the screw still went exactly where it was supposed to. So now what we'll do, now that we've got that screw in, we'll double check this again. You can see that that side's moved a little, plenty of movement in there, and then bang, that's exactly where it needs to be. So we grab our second screw, we'll pop this in the opposite side over here, and bang. Don't want to do this too tight, but I also don't want to do it too loose. So we now have a very, very solid join there, and we'll just do this for the other two. Normally these aren't as perfect, but since I have the router now, I can get these absolutely perfect. So that is definitely not going anywhere in the box. Very, very happy with the way these ports always turn out. The precision ports from Parts Express, very, very happy with their products always. So again, with this one, we'll set our square to the side. We'll line the screw holes up. I know it's a bit of an OCD thing to do the screws like that, but it's just the way I like to do it. We'll grab 4 more screws. The sun is starting to go away, so hopefully the quality of the video doesn't go too far downhill because the lighting in the garage is rather nice, but it's always something that is likely to happen. So we'll do that, set the square up on the side here, twist and twist and twist until we've got it just there, which is square. Grab our second screw, again, go to the opposite side of the one that we just pre-drilled before. Bang that in nice and tight, go to the other side, retighten him down, and we'll add our last 2. Bang, there's 1. Again, we don't want to go too tight because this is just plastic. And 2, so our box is officially now ported out the side. There is some marking on here from where I pre-drilled those. It is just grey lead pencil and it does just rub off with the fingers off this Duratex paint, so very good to see. Now we have our ports here, which again, as I said, super glue in place. So we'll come around to the front of the box and you'll actually be able to see me for once in this video. And we want to move some of this sound deadening out of the way so we have clearance, which shouldn't be too hard to do because I tore a fair bit of it out. That's how it's going to sit. Now, one thing I'm actually curious about now looking at it. Oh yes, absolutely perfect. Brilliant. I was actually worried I wasn't going to have enough clearance for a second there. But what we'll do is apply a thin, when I say thin, fairly liberal amount of super glue just around the outside lip here of the port, just like so. So we want to make sure, this isn't really to air tighten it, but this super glue, once it's cured, I know this stuff goes ridiculous. I've used it many times in the past and very rarely has it failed me. And now we've got 1, slide him up and in, plenty of excess glue there. That should just hold it in place whilst I grab some of this tape. Stretch about that much off, put it in the box. And this is going to be quite a hard process because the tape is going to want to stick. Appears I've got some super glue on my fingers now too. And maybe we'll just be able to go from the front around where that port joins. Yeah, this is about as hard as I figured. I figured this wasn't going to be the easiest part of the process, putting these top bits of tape in, but it's going to hold it there. And I now have a whole bunch of sound deadening stuck, super glued to my finger, which is going to be very interesting explaining that to people tomorrow. But there's 1 port in. We'll now apply the super glue to the second port. So again, we're making this box ported. This should be tuned in low 30s, if not high 20s. We're gonna get some decaps and stuff going. Probably won't be able to crank this up tonight because I wanna give this glue a little bit of time to dry. It does want normally 24 to 48 hours to let this stuff cure, but with the tape held in place, I'm sure I could bring that time down a little. There's our wiring for our sub. Bang this up into position. We'll also rotate it around a little. Some of that super glue is actually coming off. Oh, this one does not seem to want to go in. Just a bit of a weird situation there. But I think it's just because the sound deadening is just a little bit too thick there. It's really just not wanting to go up. Which is okay. Again, once that glue dries though, this port will not go anywhere. We'll stick that in, apply our tape. That should hold the port in position. Again, we've got super glue on my fingers, this stuff stuck to my hand. We can see that we are golden there, looking very good. This is pretty much about as best as it was going to go. See if I can get some of this tape around the back. Like so. Now we've got our ports in the box, held in with the tape. So what that leaves us to do Let's put the box back down like so. And hopefully, if I've calculated everything correctly, which I tend to normally do, that subwoofer will now fit in. So, positive to positive, which I believe I may need to reference, but I believe the one with the writing was the positive. But finding the writing, there we go. So that's positive right there. Find a positive terminal on the subwoofer. Bang, right there. Pop that wire in, pop the negative wire in, double check that that is the one with the writing on it, which it sure is. And then we grab our little connecting cable, which we use to wire the second coil in parallel. Again, finding the wire with the writing on it, it is that side there. Pop that release back up, slide that wire in. Twist her around a few times so don't get many strands coming out. Bang that in, lovely. Spin the second one around, bring it across, bang that in, nice. Come around to the other side of the box. So this is the wire here that I was actually thinking, well, I know I've got some of this stuff inside, so what we'll do, make sure there's the one with the wire, sorry, the writing on the wire. So that needs to go to the positive, that needs to go to the negative, and that should be us good. That should be the sub wired up. So the sub should now fit back into the box like so. You have to twist that just a little bit, which is actually rather hard to do. What I might do though, now that we've done that, is grab a screw. If we pop a screw in, and then we pop another screw in the other side, it should, by all means, twist the sub. Oh, you can see it's perfect. Wouldn't be obvious on camera, but that has perfectly lined itself back up. Absolutely laughing here. This is brilliant. Everything is coming together. As I jinx myself, I'm calling it. I can already tell that one port is probably going to give me grief later on. And yes, it gives me anxiety putting screws in besides subwoofers, but I'm not going to talk, but I am going to touch wood. Don't want to talk until I'm done. Not going to mention anything until this is done. Okay, what I was going to say is it does give me anxiety. Yes. Okay. This is the one where the sub surround is beginning to let go. These have been used and abused way too much, but you can hear we're starting to get a bass note out of it. I know that's really bad for the subs. Don't do that. I'm gonna quickly wash my hands, see if I can get some of this super glue off in the sink over here, or at least some of the foam and fabricy stuff that is stuck to my hand. And I can see that box in the reflection. It looks very nice, all ported up. It's definitely a much better looking box. I know the ports aren't visible on camera right now. Neither am I as I wash my hands, but that box is looking good. So now that we've done that, I can lift it up like so. So we'll just check the ports. Looking good. Bang. And we'll grab our amp, US acoustics, and then it's going to go like that. My fingers are really slippery now, which is not a good thing. Bang, we'll pop the Phillips head bit out, grab our extended square-headed bit, I don't know what that's actually called, grab our isolating feet, grab our screws, and then it's going to be time for the interesting part called trying to mount the amplifier, especially now that my fingers are very, very slippery because there's super glue on them. We do that, bring that through, put that in the hole there, and I should, by theory, be able to tighten this. Once we get that to that stage, should be able to do the same with the isolating foot on the opposite side, which should go something like that. Then we grab our drill, we bang this one in. Right, now I got some side to side tip, which now I should be able to go like that, through that, come on, bang that into that hole. Oh, and the bit's gone, where's the bit? I can hear the dog, he's crying out the back. I might have to go feed him in a minute. But let's make sure we get that into there. And now with all the remaining play, we want to lift this foot up. There's the hole on this side, just there. So we want to lift him up and get that foot. Oh, this is always the tough one's always the last one. So we'll do that. Now we'll go over here, we'll tighten this one. Do that. Come over here, tighten this one. Bang. Tighten this one. Bang. Got play in our amplifier because we have isolating feet under it. We got our power leads on this side, which would be brilliant. The only thing we have left to do is to wire up a wire from the sub for the actual subs themselves. Because again, I don't believe this is going to be long enough. Or actually, no, it's definitely not. It's about 1 inch too short. So what I'll quickly do is I'll go inside, grab some new wire, and we'll bring it back with that. Man, this one's a bit of a grind, I'll tell you that for now. But we'll do that and then I'll come back. All right, so let me just flick the camera back around and we'll lift it up, open the frame up a little bit. We now have the amplifier wired to the back of the box. We also have the amp mounted to the box. What I'm gonna do is grab a couple of small, very, very small cable ties here. Just the smallest ones I can find. These little blue ones will do. What we're gonna do is just quickly tidy up the cable on the back because I normally do that. Just make it look a little bit prettier than what it does right now. But as far as I'm aware, we are now borderline ready to get this thing back in the car. Again, I'm not gonna have this thing bumping tonight. As much as I'd love to, I need to let that glue in the port set before we crank it up and stress them out too much. But other than that, the sub box is basically ready to go. We're gonna do 2 more cable ties here. We've actually got a little bit too much wire on one of these plugs, but that is perfectly okay. Too much wire actually is probably better than too little wire because you can always shorten it later, or if you need extra later, i.e. I get a bigger amp, which I highly doubt I'll need, I can always expand. Okay, that's that. Tighten this back up. As far as I'm aware now, that doesn't actually need to be open. What I might do is just quickly close and reopen this back door, which should turn the lights back on, which it has. Brilliant. So now, what is now? We get the box, the amp. Let's see, the ports are holding up strong. The glue is in place. The ports are all nice and flush. We are ready. The subs are good. That is not good to hit the subs on an angle like that, by the way. Amp is ready, power's on that side, inputs are on that side. What I might just quickly do is grab a little Phillips head right here. We're going to set the bass boost all the way down, which it is, the subsonic all the way down, which it is, the low pass. We are going to set, wait, that is all the way down, that is all the way up. So we're going to set the low pass to right in the middle, and we're going to set our level input all the way down. That way it's as weak a signal as possible, and we've only got to turn it up So, sorry, I was very distracted then. Big F350 going past. You don't see many of those in Australia at all, like ever. So to see one in our street, actually we see a lot of weird things in our street, to be honest. Do not do that, ever. To anyone watching this, never lift a sub box in, always get someone's help. This amp looks absolutely incredible though. Let me bring the camera over like so we can see. Here we go. Hi. We get the boot, bang. Got to try and lift this over the ratcheting strap, which we are actually doing a lot easier than I thought I would. So there's our ratcheting strap. Let's try and pull that out across. Let me just check what's going on back here. Pull that back. Bang, bang. Okay, so the ports are in. The new amp is on. Pull that extra cable out. Right. This is getting exciting now. It's getting very exciting actually. That's where that goes. That's where. We'll mount the box in first. So, drill bit, we'll swap that back to a Phillips head. We'll jump back in the boot of the car. Actually, before we do that, we need to plug everything in. So grab our little Allen key, a big Allen key, and come into the back. We'll push that box forward a bit like that. The ground is the closest. So this is going to be probably the hardest part of the process here. Is going to be doing this. What I need to do is put that there like that. I actually need to get this box back over the ratcheting strap. Well, actually, that might just be far enough. That should be good, actually. Should be good to go, good to go. Okay. Where are we? Ground. Round this boy up a little bit. Bang. Start by twisting it the wrong way a bit. That way we can feed it in, tighten it up like that. Once we've done that, grab our big Allen key. Very confined little space in here. Just not going to make this easy, actually at all. This is going to be hard. Or is it? Is this going to be hard, yes or no? It's proving to be hard. So the issue I'm having is the Allen key is too long. I'm sure you can't see this from the outside. This is something that I would normally speed up or just completely avoid showing. But of course, unedited videos, nothing ever goes perfectly correct when you do this shit. Bang. It's starting to get tighter though, which is good. It's always good. Ow. Now if I do that this way. Oh yes. Really start tightening. Bang. Whew. Bang. 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 Calf is cramping something shocking right now. The other thing is I need to get the remote in as well, and I forgot to pop the seat belts down, so they're going to put a mark in the seat for a couple of days. That's all right. I think I don't really want to go excessively tight and destroy the wire, but I don't want it to be too loose. Man, breaking a sweat, this sort of stuff. I'll be honest, this is one of the things I don't like about car audio, is working in confined spaces, especially when you can't see what you're doing. Let's try and get the box over that. There we go. That might make everything 50 times easier, which it looks like it's going to. Maybe. Okay. Our remote is in. I can't wait to see this tomorrow. The car out in the sun, where my leg is currently resting on the passenger side rear door arch. There's gonna be this big, clean sweat patch. Nice. Okay, remote is in. I can pull off that protective jacket I put on the ground. Come on. Okay, this gaffer tape is kind of ridiculous. Why did I use one that strong? Again, we're gonna wire that. We're gonna twist it a bit backwards. Oh, that's right, it's live. So now done that, twist that a bit backwards, it'll spark. Twist it in nice and tight. Hold it there. Grab the Allen key. Oh, no, I'm not happy with that. It doesn't look good. Man. Car audio, man. Bar out. There's a fair bit of loose wiring there. The other option is, can I bring the box back into the cabin? Like, as the amp is going to clip just, goddamn, what is it stopping it? Yep, the amp is going to clip. Oh, damn it. Whoever said car audio is good. I can't say that, can I? Car audio is great. All audio is great. There are so many loose strands on that negative. Ugh. I wonder if I could just chop them off. Ugh. So many people would be cringing at their hardest right now. But I don't care. Because it's still going to work the same. Regardless of a few strands of hair. Or copper. Or aluminium. Because this is CCA. Man, whoever designed these with Allen keys, great thinking. Absolutely incredible. Oh, I can tighten up by hand a bit. I just don't want this stuff shorting. It's my only concern. Okay, there we go. Clears down there. All right, bet. Okay, once we get this in, nice and tight. Oh, there goes my LEDs. All right. Okay, let's grab my phone. It's in my pocket. There's literal drip. Look at my head. There's legit sweat dripping off my head. Let's grab our flashlight. Bang. A few loose strands, not to worry. It's expected when you don't do it at all correctly. But the real question is, none of those strands go where they shouldn't be going. Which they don't. I will invest in 4-gauge plugs for this. That aside, I should technically now be wired up. So I've got a green light there. Come around to the driver's side. Pop the car once, pop it a second time. We're now in the run position. Green light, bang. Let's grab our phone. Let's go to the front of the car. What we'll do, open up the glove box, grab out our wire, close that, plug it in, Spotify. Damn it, whatever I play is gonna get copyright. It's all right, it's worth it. Get a little bit media. Don't want too much volume. That's enough volume. Again, I'm gonna have to talk a lot. All right, we've got absolutely nothing through the subs. And then if we crank the level up, oh well, I haven't plugged the RCAs in. That would normally explain why there's no sound. There's a big IQ play right there. Oh, I'm gonna have to rotate the box. Gotta talk over the music, Jack, talk over the music. Oh. I'm gonna have to come back around here. Let's see, can the RCAs enjoy the angle you can right now? Okay, so the level works opposite to how I thought it would. Okay. Do you know how tempting this is to just crank the living crap out of it? We do have a bit of a weird noise out of the subs. Let's just give it a little bit more volume here. I might actually start the car. Not that I really want to have it running. Again, we're gonna have to talk. We have a rattle. You have to figure out where that rattle is coming from. Definitely have a bad rattle, but whilst this is annoying, it's definitely loud. I just gotta figure out where that rattle's coming from. All right, we'll crank her down a little because we can't have her up too loud. So, do that. We'll bang that back into the run position. Turn the headlights off. Where's that rattle? All it is that these just aren't tight enough, which is going to be very hard to tighten by hand, unfortunately. Whew. It's got a frequency tone. That should work. Frequency tone is not copyright. Frequency tones are not copyright, Jack. That makes sense. Frequency generator. Let's see, we'll start at 6 hertz. Go with 38 hertz tone. You can hear mad air leaks and rattles. Okay, where's the air leak? Okay. That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. The air leak's coming from the mounting spots. So, step her up. Crank the volume down a little. Come back here. sounding good. So what I'm gonna do is remove that. All right, so box is in. Subs are wired. The level is not adjusted. Okay, now what we'll do is slide the box back, pulling the ratcheting strap out from under it. Why is that not lining up? If I over tighten that, no, there's no slack. There we go. Okay, the box isn't rotating. Why is the box not rotating? What are we caught on? Over there. All right, come back around. Pull this out from under it. All right, come back around. We've got our Phillips head bits charged. Okay, take that out because that doesn't need to be in the car. That stuff does. There's our Allen keys. Can go in the Allen key holder. You have to take the car for a spin after this just to get some battery charge. All right, bang. And we'll bang that back. And the whole box needs to go that way. And we'll just double check the ports are all still good to go. And we grab our first screw. I'm sort of starting these off by hand. And we'll go with the impact. That goes one. Number two. Take the pliers out. Bang. Got the passengers, or the driver's side, sorry. Grab this. Nice and tight. Okay. Whew. As far as I'm aware, the box is now mounted. All right. Whew. Lengthy process here. Now we're going to grab our ratcheting straps, bang him up there, come around here, bang him there, and him there. We should just be able to pull on that, like so. And there we have it, done. Pop the rear seat back into place. Okay. There we go. We have now ported the enclosure and replaced the amplifier. Now what I'm going to do is turn the video off for a minute. Hopefully this isn't too overexposed, but I'm going to turn the video off for a minute, demo some songs, figure out if that rattle was actually a thing or if what the go was, see if we can sort out why that would be, if that is the case, and then if it's not the case, we'll suss out possible solutions. I just don't think the amp was tight enough, but it could just be something completely silly that because the box wasn't mounted incorrectly. I'm yet to know, but we'll test it out real quick. See what we're doing. Have to take the car for a drive anyway, so the ports seem to be solid enough. Everything seems to be all good. But yeah, this is so far probably an hour long. This is gonna take my computer like 2 hours to render, God. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna test it and I'll be back. All right, so I've just taken the R36 for a quick spin and I'm still dialing in the stereo. I think I pulled over about 2 or 3 times to try and adjust the bass and I'm still trying to get it there. I'm not running a remote at all for it. I know you can have like the external remote knob and that can run that down the front. Personally, even with the last amplifier, I had it set up at a volume where I just thought it was perfect and I set it there. And for whatever reason, if a song had too much bass, I could just turn it down with the head unit. And vice versa. This is really an unedited video. You normally wouldn't see this stuff. And then vice versa, if it was too quiet, I could bump it up with the head unit Nonetheless, I think I'm starting to get it to where it needs to be. It's quite hard to get out of the car, adjust it, get back in the car, and then when you're at speed, the bass is quieter because it's sort of cancelled out by the drone and that. Anyway, with the windows open, it definitely gets about 2 or 3 times as loud. I think that's partly due to the porting. It allows that pressure to escape the cabin rather than just building up inside. It's definitely a lot louder. That amplifier, it is absolutely ridiculous how powerful that amp is compared to the other one. Very, very happy with that. Thank you very much to Parts Express for sending that out to me. There will be a dedicated demo video. There will be a dedicated video on that amplifier. It is so nice. I'm very, very happy with it. Other than that though, it's ridiculously loud. The subwoofers sound incredible. The subwoofers now ported sounds a lot louder and a lot deeper than it used to be. That amplifier is ridiculously powerful, very happy. I'm repeating myself. I'm just super, super happy with this install. Normally I'd be way more amped up, but I'm sort of knackered because I've been doing this now for, 7:10. I would have started on this about 4 o'clock. So I did go for an hour, probably a 40-minute drive to let the battery charge back up. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time now tonight because I had to port the box and that. Otherwise, if it wasn't porting the box, this literally probably would have been a 30-minute job, tops. But nonetheless, it's awesome. I can't wait to keep using it. I definitely won't be pushing the limits of it very often because everything rattles. But there we have it. The box install in the car, unedited video. I hope you guys enjoy. With that being said, see you guys in the next video where it'll most likely be a demo of this or a video about the amp or something along those lines.